Hello everybody and welcome to the live stream. This live stream was supposed to happen a little bit ago, but I got sick. That's right, I have recovered. I got salmonella poisoning because I rescued a turtle, but that's a story for another time. We got people jumping in the chat right now and saying hello from all over the world. Let me know where you're coming from. We got people who are watching right now on YouTube, on Twitch, on Behance, on Facebook, all over the place, and I would love to say hello to you and see what you're doing on this fine Tuesday afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you're at. Maybe it's Wednesday already for you, but we are going to be going through some of the results from our Hey Creative Discord server design challenge for April 2022. We had this great challenge for people to be designing a dashboard interface using some animated icons from Lord Icon. I actually did this challenge a little bit ago, a little bit of a design tutorial where I designed a little sidebar using some fun animated icons from the Lord Icon icon pack, and I brought that into Webflow. You could probably find that on my channel somewhere. I wish I could pop a card up here right now, but I'm live, so I can't do that. Hey, before we go too far talking about being live, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification icon so you know when more videos like this come out. But when we did that, it was just like, man, that was super fun, and it was super easy, and you got this really cool payoff of adding animated icons directly into your project. Well, we went ahead and created that challenge, and we had some like 18 submissions inside of the Hey Creative Discord server, which is free to sign up for. It's a free Discord server. You can find friends, you can find feedback, you can find community, and you can find fun challenges, because 3 of our participants in our challenge today are going to win lifetime licenses to Lord Icon, which is like mind-blowing, amazing. So with that being said, we're just going to review some work today, answer a couple of questions if you have them. It's going to be a short stream because I'm getting ready to go on a vacation. We got to wrap this puppy up and make it happen so I can be on a beach somewhere with my beautiful wife. All right, so let's dive in and start taking a look at a little bit of work. Hey, if you wanted to know how to sign up, when it was announced, you just had to sign up for the Hey Creative Discord server, come into the challenges here. You could have seen all the information for it. Then you could post your stuff and get feedback as the month rolls by, and then you can post your final links over here in challenges. Let's take a look at the first piece of work that we have submitted, and we won't talk about names and all that stuff until we get down to the final 3, the 3 winners. But this is, I believe, by actually his name's right there, Salman Khan. This is a great little dashboard interface, and we're seeing a little bit, check those out, those little animated icons on hover. Fun little thing. And all you had to do inside of Figma was basically you had to have the normal version of the icon, and then you download the animated version, and you make an interactive component. You swap them on hover, and that's exactly what I did here. Ooh, look at that little heart breaks. Pop, 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 pop. Ooh, that's a lot of action going on there. I like the color palette here. I like the neutral kind of palette that's happening. The illustrations are absolutely cute. I'm like, this is so hard to pick. How does one pick a winner when they're all this good? I love the use of the avatars over here. The layout's clean, alignment's tight, everything's really good. This actually, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say this is the honorable mention. This is probably my 4th or 5th favorite for sure. Out of all that got submitted, it almost made it, but it looks like it could be a real thing. It probably just needs a little bit of tightening up, a little bit of contrast between some of the typography, and maybe a resizing of some of the search bars, but everything is just really, really gorgeous. You should sell this. You should continue to work on this, create a template, sell this template, or get a client and make something just like this. Let's move on to number 2. Ooh, we have a dark kind of interface here. This one's really beautiful. What do I think of this? What do you think of this? Let me know in the comments, because we have a few people joining us from Tanzania and Nigeria. They say in Tanzania it is Wednesday already. It's the next day. This is a fun interface. I think it's hard to do dark interfaces if you're not used to doing dark interfaces. I think a crypto interface is a great opportunity to try it out if you haven't done it already. Let's see, where are we getting our interactivity? Yep, on hover. We're getting, and just so you know, the first time out, you're probably going to get a little funkiness out of your icons, but that's okay, because look at that. We get that little hover ability, which is super fun. Love it. Okay, so you've accomplished everything. This is not a winner, but it is a fantastic submission. I think what this kind of suffers from is maybe a lack of spacing, right? Even though it's You know, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in the crypto market. You got to see a lot at once. We have to figure out how to balance interfaces, especially dashboards like this, so they're digestible. So I think this one suffers a little bit from that clarity, kind of like cognitive overload issue. And we have to figure out how to combat that, maybe with less, you know, navigation items, or maybe even our icons could have been a little bit smaller and we could have had a little bit more space and breathing room there in our left-hand column. I also would have loved to have seen a little bit of a darker tone here in the left-hand column to kind of give some contrast between certain areas, because dashboard interfaces are all about separating areas from each other without making boxes and boxes and boxes. That's really the entire secret. Here's a nice submission for this challenge. This one looks like, man, it almost looks like a wine glass. I can't tell. It's in a different language, so I can't read this language. I apologize, unfortunately, that I can't. But I think it has to do with wine. It definitely has to do with wine. And if it does, yes, it does. It looks absolutely great, I think. Now, you got to be careful and maybe go back, you know, when we're doing UI design, I think a good thing to do is maybe focus a little bit more on how you use color. Right? So whereas we talked in the last one about how we needed a little bit more contrast between this left-hand bar, I don't think you necessarily need to have such stark contrast like this. Changes need to be subtle. They need to be slight. They need to be mature and elegant. That maroon is a tough color. You chose a tough color to work with, and I give you props because that is a toughie, but you did a great job with the color that you chose for that palette. I think it just needs a little bit of maturity, but man, oh man, is it a great implementation of a dashboard. Love the hover, especially this book, this little Lord Icon hover book. Just makes me feel like I opened up a Harry Potter book or something like that. I'm going to dive into a memory. I don't know. It looks really good. I really like it. This is a great submission. Thank you for submitting. Now, this one is a little bit more on that 60-30-10 or kind of like interface rule. You can find out more about that on my channel. I did a whole video about how to use the 60-30-10 rule and use color. This one kind of struggles a little bit with contrast, I think, in that background, right? This background needs just a little bit, and you can tell that they're struggling with that contrast because they placed these drop shadows here. If you ever see those drop shadows and they're so distinct like that, it's a pretty good telltale sign that your contrast is just kind of off. It could have used a little bit more padding, but I think what they've done really great here is they've used that primary color in a really impactful way. You know that that primary color is important. That blue color really pops, really stands out, right? It's just a little bit of spacing, a little bit of massaging this would have done it, and I'd really love to see a button that looks has a little bit more contrast in the button, especially in those button areas. But really, really well done. I like it quite a bit. Let's move on to another one. I love looking at this much design all at once. You can see different people's approach to solve a similar problem, right? Which is to design a dashboard interface of some sort with animated icons. To look at a slew of designs all at once tells me, this is why community is so important. This is why you should join the Hey Creative Discord server, because where do you get this kind of concentrated design power, concentrated kind of mass effect where you get to see the way you do it, they do it, they do it? It's huge. This is where we really learn and grow. That's the first thing it tells me. The second thing that it shows me is that there's multiple ways to solve any one problem. And the tools that you use to solve any one problem, those are the tools of design, right? Those are the vehicle of problem solving. Excuse me. Design is the vehicle of problem solving. Problem, I need to design a dashboard with animated icons. Solution, here's the dashboard. Vehicle, I'm going to use typography, color, spacing, alignment, proximity, all of those foundational UI principles that are going to bring the whole thing together. And so it's really cool to see this much design all around the same thing. All right, this one actually is doing a lot of those things. We're getting much closer to the winners here, and you can see the improvement here in maturity. Color is a little bit more subdued. It's really nicely. They're using neutrals really nicely back here. Still having a little bit of issue defining what things are buttons, right? And then actually having a little bit of that drop shadow. Let's press new event. That's a nice little interaction up there. I dig that. We can kind of click back and forth between these two things. Love the fact that you really rocked an entire prototype here that's all clickable and nice. Oh, great job. I like it a lot. And again, we still have our our animated icons here on hover, which is exactly what you were supposed to have. So I really like those as well. This is a very nice dashboard. I would say that it suffers a little bit with using these colors here so heavily, right? This nice little hover effect here, but you can see the contrast is a little wonky here. I prefer the usage of color in these kind of strips or these bars on the left-hand edge of items. I prefer it in the outlines, right? And I prefer to maybe, this is a cute little illustration of dogs down here, but I prefer maybe to kick that illustration out of there. Maybe it doesn't, it seems like it doesn't belong there. So there's a few little things that I would recommend, but really you've actually, the creator of this dashboard really tackled some complex things and did a great job in doing so, like calendaring, creating reusable interface components like cards, but customizing them just a little bit. And then really great job on those prototyping skills and bringing the whole thing to life. This is a great submission. This one was done, I think, in Adobe XD and was loaded up to Behance, which I love that. Come on, it a lot of people submitted Figma files. No. You do it however you need to do it, my friend. And this is a great representation of that. We got a nice little loading animation here. Oh man, that's nice. And moves into the interface is like a movie stats kind of like interface, like what movies did you watch? Super fun. Got some 3D transform inside of Adobe XD, and a lot of that's like a lot of auto animate happening, which is really nice. Love the card flip. The card flip is absolutely cherry. I love it. I need more of it in my life. It's really good. If I was gonna really nitpick and say why didn't I choose this one as the winner, I would say there was a few little alignment issues like in here, right? Few alignment issues. Like I think this card feels like it's a little higher, but there was some other ones as well. Where was that? Here, for instance, this one really got me. It got me real upset. It got me real nitpicky upset, and this is a hard one to do, but we have like this alignment we're trying to create here, right? On the left-hand edge and on the nav bar, all that kind of fun stuff. But then you had like these movie posters. This whole area felt like it just flopped, like it fell off into no man's land. And I didn't like that as much. So that if you're looking for a reason why this one wasn't a winner, maybe some of the iconography was a bit large and unnecessary. Animations were super slick, but some of that alignment was off. And I'm always looking for really mastering of those design basics. I think design fundamentals all day, auto animate, 3D transform, all that fun stuff on top of it, but give me those foundational principles any day of the week. That's what I say. All right, let's move on to the next one. That was a great submission. This one was really interesting because this was similar to the last dark interface that we saw, but they added some of those things we talked about, right? Which is a little bit of contrast between sections, right? It's very busy. It's got a lot going on in this interface, doesn't it? But I think it's fun, right? The colors are super fun. The animations are like, they just like pop. They just sing everywhere, which is amazing. But maybe not having everything auto animate at all times because you're like, oh gosh, where do I look? What do I look at, right? So this is really just about controlling and containing those animations and governing. I know governance is such a gross word, right? Nobody likes that. That doesn't sound like fun. You're like the boring dad at like a party. But governing is really controlling, it's refining, it's establishing that control in the interface, and that's what you actually need so that it doesn't become like cognitive overload. But I do love the use of spacing and contrast in this. I like the use of color. I really like the use of these little chips up here, the colors that are used to denote meaning. I don't know what that meaning is because this is a fictitious dashboard, obviously, but I would imagine that it had to do with energy usage here, like red, yellow, green. Like maybe we have like red, yellow, green. I think that's what it is. And the fact that I could grok that I could get a hold of that, not knowing anything about this fictitious dashboard, tells me that the interface design is sound, that the rationale for that usage of color is really sound. So that's just it's just a reminder to us all. Color matters, right? Size and placement of things, it matters, right? So, you know, keeping those things in mind and creating some rhyme and rhythm and reason to things, those things matter, okay? Let's see. Some people are asking in the chat, can I share the link to the Discord server? I could, I could, but I'm a little busy right now. Wish I could multitask, sorry, but I'm really, really bad at that. But you can go find in any of my other videos, go find the link to that. Let's look at our second runner-up. So we had our first runner-up actually was this fella, this beautiful neutral kind of thing. This was our second runner-up. It was a really, really beautiful implementation. It just missed the cut. I love that this thing is full width, right? It's taking up the whole space of the canvas. Gorgeous. The animations are sound. The alignment is there. The color usage is mature. The only thing that I started to get a little bit like, okay, now I have to really nitpick because the top three have to be like lights out amazing. I started to kind of nitpick these areas down here, right? And the just a little bit of the busyness that's in there. Like if this isn't client work, right? And you have your say-so on how things should look and how much information should go into certain areas, then you have the ability to say, no, I don't want things to be busy. You can make interface choices that would say, let's not put edit, send, edit, send, edit, send on all of these. Instead, let's put a meatball menu here that when they open up, it would then drop down to edit or send. That way we kind of limit some of the redundancy, right? Similar here, right? Just maybe you gotta determine what information is most important, and I think maybe parse that information out. It's such a doggone nice interface. I hated making this one be 4th or 5th or runner up, but it just didn't quite hit the spot like our top 3. Now, before we go into our top 3, I just want to say, are you going to participate in the next design challenge? We have one coming up for June. There's going to be a design challenge there with prizes again, most likely, with lots of people participating in the Hey Creative Discord server. So all you got to do is head over to the Hey Creative Discord server. Or also, if you're not into doing design challenges, you feel like you need a little bit more guidance, you want to learn a little bit more about UI design and UX design and product design, you can head over to Dribbble. Just go dribbble.com/learn right now. I have a 12-week certified product design course on Dribbble where you will have a cohort and mentorship and live sessions each week, and you will be plugged into Dribble's hiring network. If you want to learn about digital product design and make interfaces like this one and other ones and the top 3 winners and more and better and tons more, then head over to Dribbble and check that out, because that's what we're doing over there on Dribbble. Hey, if you don't want to do that, just make sure you like, subscribe to the channel, because I put out all sorts of free content here on YouTube. Love doing it. Never going to stop doing it. Hit that bell notification icon so you know when videos come out, when live streams come out. I try to do it every single Friday, unless I save a turtle and I get salmonella poisoning of some kind. So with that, let's move back in. Let's talk about the top 3, because, and these are in no particular order, I just love all 3 of these. Let's head to the first one. I think this one was, let's see if we can go back and find the name, because we need the name. Oh man, this is where it gets hard, because we have to come up with a better submission policy or way of submitting things. We're gonna find the name later on, and we're going to announce that name, because this is one of our top 3. And the reason this is one of our top 3 is because of, I think that it's very different. It's ticking all the boxes as far as interface design for me. Active states, inactive states, placement, alignment, proximity, right? Using like an accent color or a call to action color effectively without overdoing it. And it's kind of sporty. It's supposed to be sporty, so you can maybe be a little bit more bold with color. See where you can take risks. I say take risks, baby. I say do that thing. And I say that this submission is kind of doing that right now a little bit. So we can just zoom in and see some of those nice animated icons happening there. Those are real nice. And we also have some other prototyping here that maybe we can turn things on. We have interactive components there. We can view the full schedule. Beautiful. I love that. We can go back to home, toggle back and forth between schedule. It's just a nice prototype. Now, there's some things that they could have done, right? They could have been a little bit more careful with how they use that accent color, maybe introduced a secondary color. But I think just generally speaking, I like it. I like it quite a bit. And I don't know what else to say besides I'm into it. Okay, so congratulations. We will find the name of this submission, this designer, and we will make sure that you have won. You have won a lifetime access to the Lord Icon library, which is like $5 billion worth of value. Not actually, but it's a lot. Imagine you get to use Lord Icon animated icons in every project, anytime you want. It's always there for you. That's super cool. Hey, thanks to Lord Icon for sponsoring this whole challenge and making this happen. Let's talk about our second winner. Again, in no particular order. I do know the name of this one. This is Bahi in our Discord server. Congratulations to Bahi. He is the winner. I think he's won another challenge somewhere along the lines. At some point, I'm going to have to cut you off and leave some rewards, Bahi, for some other designers because you're just too good. You're doing so nice. It's so clean. The contrast is there. The 60-30-10 color ratio is there. You're using color sparingly and where it really matters, right? Where does it really matter? It matters for notifications. It matters call to actions, leading people to get the pro now, right? It matters in the active stat. It matters down here in checked states. And then it's really thin and chill inside of these other areas. Doesn't it look nice? The reason it looks nice is because there are some other colors. There's some other supporting quote unquote system colors up here, but the tone and the hues and the values of these colors, they're similar, right? None of them are more punchy than others. They're all kind of the right hue and tone, and they're used sparingly. So there's just, for me, this one is about the alignment, the structure, and the really mature use of color. This is one to learn from, folks, right? Because this one just screams like maturity and elegance. Now, again, I harped on some other people for saying like, maybe your search bars are too big, but if you can structure it right, if it makes sense in context of other elements on the page, it just stinking makes sense. It's fine. And in this case, it's fine, right? I think one thing I might encourage you to is maybe just run it through a contrast checker, because I feel like these areas might be just a little bit light on contrast. You might want to pump it up just a tad bit. I think we can be really elegant. See, like this statistics text, I know it pops a little bit more. And you wanted it to be an active state. I think the rest of them probably should have just been this color so that I have really good contrast across the board. So there's a little bit of a balancing act there. It looks really elegant and beautiful. It may not be as accessible as other pieces of typography around the rest of the interface. You want this stuff to be good too. Now, you might have a rationale and say, hey, Jesse, the reason those are subdued is because they're the navigation. They're not the main content. Hey, and listen, if that's what you're saying, I can get down with that. I like that rationale. I might believe you. I might like what you're doing when you talk about stuff like that. You might be speaking my language a little bit. Keep going with that rationale. Or I might just be having a conversation with myself. I don't know. Let's move on. But I really like this submission by Bahi. Congratulations. You have won lifetime access to the Lord Icon. I'm gonna contact you inside of Discord with our other winners. I'm gonna get your emails, send them over to the Lord Icon. They'll grant you access and send you a little welcome email because they are straight up awesome. Let's move on to our final winner. And this one is just absolutely beautiful. This one is by Divyansha UI UX. You can see their name tag down here in the right hand corner, dropping that little emoji, that little apple emoji. This, you ever just try so hard to find something wrong with it? You ever just try so hard to find something wrong with something, but you can't? It's like trying to find something wrong with my wife. She's just wonderful. She's perfect in every way. God made her just for me. God made this interface just for me, right? It's beautiful. It's hitting all the things for me. Color usage, structure, spacing, alignment, content, typography, balance, rhythm, graphs, everything. Call to actions, did I say contrast? Everything is firing on all cylinders in this interface for me. I would buy this interface. I would hire this designer to do interface work for me. I might actually hire you to do some interface work for me, right? Because I like to pass work on to people. I like to do referrals. This is amazing. And you can just see, right? The spacing here on the left-hand edge. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely beautiful. There's our beautiful animated icons. I don't mind that they're actually kind of like constantly animating because this is like a fun NFT project. It's cool. Your usage of typography is clean. It's mature. It's elegant. Even in the search bar, everything is just, it looks like it belongs. It's the right size. It's just, everything makes sense, right? You see what I'm saying? When we just kind of zoom in and move around the interface, spacing is right. It's not like the line height and like the item height here. It's not too big. It's not too small. It's not distracting. everything is coming together and everything makes sense. The contrast of your cards that sit on top of this neutralized background. You've taken one color. You can tell, right? You've taken this color and you've reused that color in so many ways and places. And that's what makes this feel like one synonymous interface, because it all belongs. It all comes together. Just everything about this is just mwah, mwah, mwah. It's beautiful. I love it. I can't get enough of it. So congratulations to you, Divyanish UI and UX down there in the corner. You are the winner of a lifetime subscription to Lord Icon, along with our other 2 winners. Let's look at them again really quickly. We have this beautiful work of art that it is. We have our other winner over here by Bahi, and we have our mystery winner, which I have to find the name down in our Discord server. But hey, if you haven't joined the Hey Creator Discord server, it's free to do so. Go check my channel, check some of my other videos, find the link. Thank you to all of the winners. Thank you to all the participants. Thank you to Lord Icon for sponsoring this challenge. And thank you to you for watching this live stream and learning with me and just checking out some cool design today. Sometimes it's fun just to check out some cool design. Hey, if you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Leave a little thumbs up on this video. Maybe post it somewhere on the Facebooks, the Instagrams, maybe over on the Twitter. Elon Musk owns it now. Maybe he'd get a kick out of this video. Mention him. Let's get a laugh out of that. But I hope you are having an amazing week. Hope you're designing amazing things. Hope you're making amazing things. And I hope that you're doing okay. We'll see you in the next one.